Are there any other guys you're fearful of potentially transferring?
Negra, Toshiba, one more lineman. Jaden Ballard, probably the fastest guy on our team. Defensively, nah. And Lincoln Kindholz. I think Lincoln could play any skill position on offense.
Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Scarlet and Blue Show. You may notice 2 windows here instead of 3. We are taking a week off. Our guests had to push back a week, so all good, not a problem.
Just a quick little bye week, everyone has a new season.
Yep, we got plenty of off season left, and there's always stuff to talk about here. So we'll pick that up. I know that's been enjoyed by many, and you're allowing fans from the other sides to argue and complain with the person who was the guest. So it's perfect. It's the way it should be. And we're excited to get back to it. But we got some things to talk about today, Garrison.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We have I think we have a good amount of things. I think there's things we can talk about that I didn't even send to you.
I know. I got one. Can I start with one? Or an impromptu
No, please.
one?
No, please.
So
we can probably just go off on this one,
Yeah. Well, first of all, your twin, the famous twin, is going to transfer away.
No, you say your way?
No, transfer away. I don't think he's going to come to Michigan. No.
Okay, I think he's going to Tennessee.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, Dallin Hayden, Garrison, transfer.
It's upsetting, but Bryce, how long have I been saying this? It's a year late.
Last year.
Yeah, exactly. Should have happened last year. I'm very happy for the guy. He's gonna be a stud. Wherever he goes, Bryce, he's gonna be a stud. I say all the time. I harken back when he was a true freshman and mine got hurt and Travion got hurt, and he went up and just started going off. Put up 500 yards in a few games, and I said, I don't care how healthy mine and Travion are. You don't take the hot hand out the game. You just don't. Mm-hmm. So no, I'm happy for him, man. Go do great things. In Ryan Day's press conference, he said he usually tries to keep 5 running backs in the room, and he thinks he has 5 running backs he can play. So no,
and
man,
he's gonna after the news. That's
after the news. Yep. I think he's gonna do great things. I want nothing but the best for the kid. He stuck it out longer than a lot of people would have.
He did. There are guys that stick with the program, and he's one of those guys. You commend him for that. You go from RB3 last year, then the Chip train him, transfer. So then you're RB2, and then rumors swirl that Henderson's going to go to the NFL. Then you're RB1.
You're RB1.
and then everything kind of fell apart for him. Yeah. And I get it.
Yeah. That's the world we live in college football, so it is what it is.
It is.
Now, before we get to the Ohio State spring game, you brought something up of mine about my program that happened. Now, I have a donation that I want to give to the University of Michigan. Now, Chris Ballas of the Wolverine, very good insight for the University of Michigan, said that there are parents that have been asking about their money, where their NIL is. Happy I tweeted about it. Actually, it wasn't even the original tweet that took off. It was the video I had posted. Shout out to J Book for making it boom too. But so Bryce, I have this for you.
Unblock me, would you, J Book?
Yeah,
what I ever did to you.
What'd you do to him?
I don't think I did anything.
He's like the one non-annoying Ohio State fan.
I know there's not many of those, and I would like to follow them, and I always been a big fan. So I did.
You talk about him a lot. You are a fan of his.
I'm a fan, and now I can't see his stuff.
But I brought this. Pause. But I brought this for you, Bryce. It's a whole whopping $1, so that you guys are able to pay your players to not be a poor program, to not be a bottom program. It's crazy all that money you guys talk about, you guys having, and you can't pay your players.
I think it's NIL. We haven't been in the forefront. of the NIL experience,
But
Garrison.
you aren't paying. But you aren't paying up your dues.
I don't think that I just think the checks are getting stuck in the mail. I think that's what it comes down to. A few logistical, a few clerical errors. We'll be back on track.
And you know what? And I shouldn't be surprised by this. I
No,
shouldn't be because you, a Michigan fan, we had everyone out there. Bryce and I had a bet some years ago, and I said Urban Meyer was never going to lose to Jim Harbaugh, never. But Urban leaves, and I think the bet was Bryce Jim would never beat Ohio State. And Bryce and I made a bet that whoever lost that bet had to get the other's logo tatted on the other. And Bryce owes me a tattoo, everybody. So that's what I'm saying. Michigan
well,
people
hold on.
don't.
If the bet, if you just said what you just said there, if the bet was that Jim Harbaugh would never beat Ohio
But
State,
but
then I
but
don't know you.
when Urban left, we both said it's kind of
Yeah, well, no. What happened is that Jim Harbaugh, the rumors were flying around that Jim Harbaugh was going to get a lifetime contract, and you were at that point.
oh
You're like,
yeah
I'm not. I don't want to do it. That's
yeah
not
because
fair.
that's not
So
fair
I don't know why you're bringing this back up again. I
because
thought
you
we
guys
put
don't
this one
pay
to
up.
rest.
You don't pay up. That's all I'm saying. You guys don't pay up
Real
your
talk.
dues.
If this is true, if this and Chris Ballas
Yeah,
is obviously an insider, trusted source. If this is true, if we can't get Kenneth Grant, if we can't get Will Johnson, even though Will Johnson's a legacy kid, like even if we can't get Will Johnson,
he's
these
never
other
leaving, Bryce.
the stars, regardless, if we can't get them paid in some way, shape, or form, then
Mm-hmm.
that is unforgivable to say the least. And so while it is Chris Ballas, a trusted source, a good insider, I also want to believe it when I see it, because if this is true,
No parent is gonna come out and say,
it'll come over the people transfer. Like after the spring
"Oh,
game
oh,
in a
oh,
week, you'll have transfers, and we'll see it in the
yeah,
transfer. If checks aren't cashed after that or by that or whatever this deadline is, then
mm-hmm.
kids are gonna leave, and as they should, because promises were given and not kept. So I will be very upset. But let's wait till it happens. Let's wait till it happens. If not, for now, you can send that to me, would you? I'll take it. I got 2 kids, hungry mouths to feed.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, so there's that. So that's that. That was interesting news, and I know you Buckeyes are all over.
I just came across it, Bryce. I really just came across it.
You're so innocent. The other thing I thought you intentionally sparked really good conversation. So you tweeted from our account yesterday. That was a good tweet. About Josh Freeby. I think that's how you say it. Freeb.
Freeb.
Freeb. I don't know how to say his name.
Let's call him JP.
JP. Yeah, the transfer from Northwestern.
Mm-hmm. Third team All Big Ten.
Yep, there you go. Third team All Big Ten. Rumors are swirling, or someone saying that he's the best offensive lineman on the team right now. And I thought you brought up a fair question. Yeah. Is that concerning? To which point I said no, because we've had such a rich history over the recent 3 years. And
right.
It's not over the last 20 years. You've done those aspects over the last 50 years.
I'll give it to you. You've had success in college.
Yep. Back-to-back Joe Moore Award winners. Offense predicated on running the football.
Yep.
What you want. So I'm not bothered by that. Now, today, rumors swirling that Julian Sayin, and this is not Syracuse's, that was unintentional knock to Kyle McCord. No, this is not a ho-hum quarterback room. This is Ohio State with a transfer, some guys with experience, and then some highly rated, highly touted freshmen. And now they're saying that Sayin is potentially leader of the pack. So I think the question can be flipped down to the Buckeye fans. Is that cause for concern?
I'll tell you what I said to Darren early on Twitter. Yes. Now,
okay.
And like I said, there's a good side and a bad side to everything. The good side to this is, listen, if Ryan Day is saying he has the playbook down, because talent alone, Bryce, is not what this team needs. Because I do believe he's the most talented guy in that room. I do for a fact believe that. This team doesn't need a talented quarterback. This team needs a leader. It needs someone who knows a playbook. It needs someone who has played a lot of games. a lot of minutes, scored touchdowns, thrown interceptions. Guys that have done that on this level. Now if Julian is that good, if and it's not Bryce, if he's that special, forget good. If he's that special, you play him, but you cannot look back. You can't, because what's going to happen is as soon as you do that, Bryce, Aaron Donald's gone, and the other two guys are well. Devin Brown's gone. Keen Holtz is gone. You got to understand what the implications of making that move is. Now, also this, the other side of that, Bryce, is the negative. Are those guys that cruddy that you had to play the freshman? If it's that close, I'd rather you. Yeah, if it's that close between Julian Sand and Will Howard, let's say, I say you play Will Howard, because the truth of the matter is that we have Will Howard because of our red zone struggles. Last year, it was not a problem for Ohio State to get to the red zone. The problem was finishing in the red zone. So, and Will Howard is a great red zone quarterback,
especially a big old boy.
Exactly. Yes, he is. So, I don't know, but if he's that special, what's the point of holding him back? What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, I want to poke fun and joke at you guys any opportunity I can get, but again, we got to call it how it is. And the quarterback room is loaded, and Ryan Day made an intentional decision to bring in, and he's been doing this. I think it's the right move again. As much as I want to pick on him and you guys as possible, I gotta say, like right now, you get as much talent as you can and let the winner prevail.
Yep.
I look at your schedule. It goes Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, Michigan State, Iowa. So you got 4 weeks of cakewalks. That's 4 weeks for a
freshman. 5, right? That's 5 weeks. I was a cakewalk. You said 5 weeks, right?
Yeah, that was 5 weeks. I was giving Iowa the benefit of the doubt.
Don't do that.
You're right. Then you got yeah. Well, I'm going to. I respect Kirk. You got 5 weeks, and then you go to Eugene. That's 5 weeks for a freshman to get going, and that's only one road game in East Lansing, which is hardly even a road game.
Yep.
So that's plenty of time, man. I
agree. I think that I don't want it to happen, but if it happens, because yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, same thing as what Clemson went through with Trevor Lawrence. If he is that special in the spring game, where it's just like, what can you do?
And this was
do it.
He was behind Kelly Bryant, and they went to A&M College Station, right? That was his first game, and they came back second half. Yeah.
And I mean, you look, Bryson, I remember I was talking to a friend during that game. I was doing the spring game for Clemson. I said, Brian Kelly just lost his spot. He went out there looking timid, because sometimes, you know, when you face a guy that's that good, it may make you buckle. So,
yeah, Brian Kelly Bryant.
Kelly Bryant, yes. Who cares what his name? Well, I'm just,
yeah.
You know, but no, I hope Will Howard's the guy. I hope he's the guy. So
I mean, boy, a lot of Buckeye fans have just given up on Devin Brown. I wonder what Chris is thinking.
I don't think it's given up.
Except
I just want you to be healthy, man. Just be healthy, and then I can see.
So that means
I think he can lead this team if he's healthy.
Yeah. Well, if Sayan's the starter and Will Howard, I think he's found himself at the third spot on the depth chart.
Where are you coming up with this? Like, how did you just come up with that?
Devin Brown, third on the depth chart.
You just called Julian Sayin the starter?
Is that not what we're talking about right now?
We're talking about the reason. No, we're talking about the good and the bad of having a true freshman as a starter.
The true freshman being Julian.
Yes.
What happened here? I lost control of this.
I have no idea.
Twilight Zone or something.
Yeah, I think you did.
All right. I don't. I thought we were talking about a freshman, and if Julian Saint's the starter, who's a freshman at Ohio State, Will Howard's too, then Devin Brown, who we've talked about, or you guys have talked about, is now QB3.
That is what it is, man. It's a competition.
All right.
But before we even talk about the Ohio State spring game, because I kind of want to segue, because you brought up JP, Josh Freeb. And so talk about the offensive line. And so I took some notes down from the Wolverine because I want to bring this to you. Think only like 3 or 4 things because I want to bring to you because I think they're very, very vital.
Ooh, all right.
So a bunch of Michigan fans on that, I think on that post said it was not a big concern, correct? That I had
Correct.
right here. So these are the notes I took down. You'll understand. O line is banged up. They
From
also
spring ball, you're saying?
from spring ball.
Yep.
They said offensive tackle is still a concern. They also said they moved Hinton from right tackle to left tackle, and they are very afraid about that because at right tackle, if you remember last year, he was not that good at right tackle last year. He just wasn't. So for all the Michigan fans that said they're not worried, that's why you should be worried. I have all the faith in Freeb, and I think El Hadi's going to be a good player. I think El Hadi's going to be that
Yeah,
guy.
you've been on him for a while.
Yeah, I think El Hadi should be the left tackle. But I mean, right here they said that they struggle to get. They said getting a first down on their defense is a win. Now,
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on.
now, but I want to say this. Though I understand how good that defense is,
Especially that defensive line.
yeah, a first down shouldn't be a win. I, not in college. I'm sorry, not in college. Like right here, they said Orgy's inconsistent. None of the other quarterbacks have stepped up. But they said, but play to play for play, he's just very inconsistent. They said lack of explosive plays in practice. I'm not surprised by that kind of, but I understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, the spring game's gonna be interesting to see, and we'll talk about that a little bit more next week because Michigan's is next week.
yep.
But it will be interesting to see. I think there are concerns at the O line if you're going to compare to last year, especially, which you just can't do that losing
And,
your
and last
guards
year's
and center.
and last year's O line wasn't as good as 2 years prior.
Wait, what?
Last year's O line as a unit was
Statistically,
not
or you just mean?
statistically and just optically they just weren't as good. I mean, you take the Penn State game when they couldn't protect JJ, they weren't as good.
Yeah, Carson. Well, so you were talking about Miles Hinton at tackle. Carson Barnhart was a right tackle last year, so
No, but there are times when he did play right tackle when Barnhart was hurt. Because they moved Barnhart to left tackle because your left tackle got hurt.
yeah, no, they moved Barnhart to guard when Zinter got hurt in Ohio State, and
All I know is that they said
Trente
that
Jones
Hinton
came in.
played. They said Hinton played right tackle last year a few times and it did
Yeah,
not look good. Yeah.
that's why. Yeah, then Trente
Mm-hmm.
Jones took over at the right tackle position at the end. Darius
Yep.
Henderson solidified his spot at left tackle. So you're replacing the left tackle, both guards, in the center. And yeah, I mean, I think Miles Hinton. It's spring, so I'm just not overly concerned yet. But I do think you've got guys who you're gonna have to really put it together here.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike you guys, and unlike our schedule last year, week 2 opens up at Texas and or at home against Texas, and so you're gonna have to get the guys ready to go. And so yeah, I think you look at the struggles against the defense. That defensive line is nasty, is absolutely filthy,
Mm-hmm.
and you know it's spring, it's early. I'm not going to freak out about it, but I think I've heard big things about Andrew Gentry, who's the sophomore, but the guy's like I think this is the kid who had a mission, and so he was gone for a while. So he's a sophomore, but he's older.
Okay.
And then you've got Crippen, who's kind of been waiting in the wings for his opportunity at center over the last couple of years. And then yeah, JP and him, and then I think the depth is. I've heard good things about Jeff Percy right now too, who's taking reps at left tackle. He's a senior. He's been around for a while. So yeah, we've got. I mean, it's early. It's spring. I'm not no
Mm-hmm.
cause for concern yet, but yeah, there are gonna be interesting things to look for at the spring game and to
Uh,
see
we we
who
don't
ends
have
up gets in.
to have a conversation about it. I just want like a yes or no question. Are you concerned about recruiting?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good question. Yeah. I mean, you can't. 3 recruits. Now, what's the story there? Harbaugh did his thing the last 3 years. That's really frustrating. That hurt us recruiting. Um, and then Michigan season went longer than everyone else's except for one other team, which is Washington. and
Mm-hmm.
Harbaugh delayed the announcement. Wasn't something that happened right away. So they're already behind the eight ball, but you want to see some traction. You want to
Yeah.
see something. You want to see whether you believe crystal balls or predictions or whatever they're called now. You want to see something. I think you're seeing that, but there's a difference between crystal balls and it was a good visit reports
They
and
actually having the verbal
commitments.
commit. Yeah.
Yep. And so yeah, man, we've talked about this over and over again. Um I'm obviously not up on recruiting as you are, but I also don't buy into recruiting as much because of the transfer portal as you do. However, the recipe and the formula can be simple. Is that if you can recruit well, you can fill a roster up with talent. That doesn't mean that talent's good, but if it's a value of probabilities and it's saying let's
Mm-hmm.
get the best talent to go at it and let the best man win, we have a highly likelihood of having success and having those guys hit if there's more good guys competing for one spot. So
Yeah.
I think you need it. And it's beyond that too, Garrison. I think it's also the transfer portal predictions too. And like we could have this conversation in 2 weeks. It could go a completely different direction because we have no idea what's going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes. But yeah, from all reports, man, it's not great. It needs to be resolved. And rumors going around that current guys aren't getting paid isn't going to help that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that all gets squashed and resolved ASAP, so we can start
Mm-hmm.
getting some traction on some things because we've got what three commits right now for 25. Not great.
Yeah.
And I think what does that put us at? What spot is
You're
that?
at 42nd
Is that 24/7?
composite.
No, that's not great, man.
No. But you know what?
44.
There's football this Saturday. There's football this Saturday.
Spring game. You guys
Mm-hmm.
are losing your mind every time Jeremiah Smith does anything.
Bryce, hold on a second. I gotta read this to you. Because our friend Lawson is not one to just say things, okay? But he knows the wide receiver position. Like before Chris Olave became Chris Olave, he's the one who told me, he's the guy. Like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to wide receivers. So this is I sent those catches tape to him. This is what he says. He says and the hook and in the route fake in the same motion is crazy. Then he says, yeah, faking two routes in one motion in the same shit I haven't really seen. He's all right. It's time for hot take. It's time for hot take.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, go.
That's the
What do
best
you
wide
think?
receiver. That's the best wide receiver in the nation.
Okay, I thought for sure
I
you'd say all time. And
no no I and the reason it's hard for me to say that is because we have Emeka, we have Carnell Tate, right? Do you remember Devere Posey, wide receiver for Ohio State during Terrell prior years?
yeah, number
He
8,
he
right?
tweet yeah he tweeted out there. He said he's had about 350 yards today in practice, and everyone has said he is the most targeted wide receiver on this team in practice
Wow.
by far. And I
Wow.
just I rarely ever go off the ledge and say this about some guys. The only people I've seen that I can say this about is maybe Adrian Peterson, Julio Jones, maybe a few linemen here, a few linemen. But I mean, for the skill positions, it's very hard to say this about a guy. Bryce, the kid could play in the league today. He could. He has the body.
He looks the part.
Like the guy is him. He, whew, I couldn't
So
imagine having to see him in high school. I couldn't imagine that.
yeah. Oh no. That's unfair. I mean, I think of myself going up against a kid like that, and
Barbecue chicken.
oh yeah, yeah, he could be on one foot. All right, let me ask you a question. This kind of came out
Yeah.
of nowhere, but you got the spring
Mm-hmm.
game. You can tell me what you want to talk about with the spring game. But if you had to make a pick, Dallin Hayden already said, are there any other guys you're fearful of potentially transferring? And not fearful in the sense that you think Ohio State's going to spiral. There's culture problems.
No,
Of course,
yeah,
you'd love to
yeah.
make it, but just there's not enough snaps, not enough reps for everybody.
Tegra, So Sheba, one more lineman. Uh, Unless you find a way to get him on the field this year, I think he might. There's a chance he might leave. And I don't want that protector. I want him to stay. Um, Jaden Ballard, probably the fastest guy on our team, but for some reason hasn't been able to see the field as much as he can, as much as he should, or I can't even say should. He hasn't seen the field. He just hasn't seen the field much. Uh, who defensively? Nah, there's no one on the defense. I'm afraid of them leaving, and I'm sure some of them could. In a few years, I will look to seeing. I think in a few years that there's a few guys that might transfer out of DB room, but they'll be younger. That DB room's locked and loaded for years to come. Um, and Lincoln Kindholz. I think Lincoln could play. I'm taking away like a tight end. I think Lincoln could play any skill position on offense. I think he's that type of athlete, but I think he wants to play quarterback. So let's say in a situation, Bryce, where Julian Sain is the guy, he gone. So those are the names I could give you off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
All right. You heard it here
But
first.
just a few things, this I'm very interested in seeing. BIA, Best in America versus Zone 6, our wide receiver core. I am so interested to see that because this is my first time getting to see Caleb Downs playing on Buckeye uniform. I am so excited for that. It hasn't hit me yet, Bryce. Caleb Downs is an Ohio State Buckeye. So I'm really interested in seeing that. Ryan Day said that the O line is still being worked out. Uh, said Josh Simmons he said our tackles have visibly taken a step forward from last year. After all the moaning and complaining I did last year on those two tackles, especially Josh Simmons, he was a regular for me to torment. I am so happy to hear that. He said that Josh Simmons he's put him at a guard a few times, but that left tackle spot solidified. That's his.
Mm.
So that made me happy to hear. Let me think. What else did I write down? OG Locke came to the stand. And he said when Ryan Day gave him a call to show interest in him, he felt like a child on Christmas morning. Man, that made me so happy to hear. That made me so happy to hear. I don't know, Bryce. Have you seen any of the clips of Carlos Locklin, our new roommate coach?
And what did you call him? OG Lot?
OG Locke.
Okay. I had no idea who you were talking about. I was like, is that a
Well,
player?
no. I
I
think
can
he
look
used to
him
be
up.
like in corrections or anything. But if you hear him talk, you ever heard Mike Tomlin talk after in a press conference, Bryce?
Mm-hmm.
And it gets you. He says some good stuff, and it gets you kind of in a football mood. It sounds like a lot of wisdom. That's what he sounds like. That's exactly what he sounds like. Um, a few of the guys are in the RB room already know him because he did recruit some of them. So I'm Coach Lachlan. Buckeye Nation is blessed to have you, and we're happy to have you here in the Scarlet and Gray. Um, I think we all know that the quarterback. We've already talked too much about the quarterbacks. We know what that is and what we need to see when they comes from them. Um, I want to see Jack Sawyer and JT torture our offensive line. I
That'd be a good sign for you guys.
you already in spring games, Bryce. I don't take much from them because usually the defense has the jump on the offense. But I need to see that. I just need to see what did our coach used to say? Run like a house of fire. That's what I need to see. Um, Linebackers. more than now. This is very crucial to me. I need to see gap integrity. I need to see flying around. I need this. I want to. When I look at the TV, Bryce, I want to think I'm watching Andy Katzenmeyer, AJ Hawk, and James Laurinaitis. That Chris Bill, whoever you want to use. Brian Roll. So many names I could give you. I haven't seen a great Ohio State linebacker, and
Wow, what a shot at Tommy Eichenberg. Was he an All-American?
that doesn't make you a great.
I mean, it's pretty much the step towards that, but all right.
That's a step towards that. I mean, you're there. Bryce, I might make a step towards the finish line. Does that mean I crossed? No.
I feel like All-American's more than maybe one step, but
Oh,
that's fine. Keep disrespecting your guys. That's fine.
I'm not. This isn't disrespect. It's not disrespectful to say you're not AJ Hawk. It's not disrespectful to say you're not. I mean, there's guys that weren't All Americans that are better than him from Ohio State.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't had a great linebacker since the Urban era. So, I'm really interested in seeing how that turns out. I just need to see them play. I need to see that defense play fast. You are going to give up some mistakes to this offense. It will happen. That happens in football games no matter what. I saw it happen against I see it happen against Maryland every year. It happens. But what they need to do is make sure they're playing really fast. And I think that's what I really need to see. And Ryan Day said that there will be tackling in this game.
Yeah, good.
There will be tackling.
All right. All right. Well, spring game. Also too, Tony Alford had his first called press conference or first interview with the media today, and his comments about not hating, not being able to say anything bad about
Ohio
scumbags
State
down south.
That's crazy, scumbag. We pay our players.
The checks haven't cleared yet. That's all it is.
So y'all broke.
Just a little antiquated with our financial models.
No, what were you saying though?
Yeah, no, he's just his comments about not essentially just not hating, which we talked about this with Chris on the first week of the 10-week war, just saying that these guys are close, and us fans wish there was hate, that sometimes there probably isn't, and I'm sure some coaches have hate. I can't imagine Jim Harbaugh likes Michigan. Can't imagine Ryan Day likes Ohio, or can't imagine Jim
I know
Harbaugh
what you mean.
Ohio State. Ryan Day likes Michigan. I'm sure we'll flip that, but I think it's a business decision, and we've talked about it enough. So it is what it is, and go recruit some running backs, dude.
It was funny. Oh, question: did you see when I think it was Bingo Bongo? He see his comment on the post that you made about Alfred, and he said you can clearly see when it's Mr. Morals that makes a post. I'm like, that right.
You got called out.
It wasn't mine. It was you.
That's right. I do. Yeah.
But you know what? That's what I knew. I said, you know what? That's how I know I am making an unbiased post from that page. That's how I know.
Progress. We've made improvements together. All right. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week for
the 10-week war.
Who's on next week?
We'll be with Lexi. Yep.
Boom.
Yep. That's gonna be really fun. She's a character. She's fun. I like her.
Yeah. Well, we had some awesome. I mean, it's been 3 for 3. I suppose I'd say that anyways, but I really do mean it's been 3 for 3 with guests.
Oh yeah. Most definitely, my guy.
All right, brother. Well, we'll see you guys all next week. Go blue.
Go. Oh well. OH. I almost
got you there.
You almost got me. Almost got me.
Happy birthday. This guy. Everyone wish Garrison happy birthday.
Thank you, Brad. Hey, thank you, Brad. It means a lot, man.
Oh, also, I'm gonna flip it around. This guy says he can drive the ball consistently 20 on average. No chance. No chance. If you see him out on the course and you get video footage of him shanking it $180, you tell me, send it to me. We'll make sure that goes public.
I know that 180 is with an iron. The 7
I'm just saying.
specifically.
I'm just
The
saying
7.
you get a little cocky with that driver and you pull it.
Mm-mm.
All right. We'll
Mm-mm.
see.
Tiger
We'll get
Tiger
on the
Woods,
course.
y'all.
See you guys.